Welcome again to another session of Discover Tinley, where we talk about different events and things and people in town here. My name is Ron Centenni. I'll be the host for you this afternoon, this evening. And just to remind you again and talk to you about a thing that I announced our last Discover Tinley program. Our name has been changed to the Community Resources Commission instead of the Human Resources Commission. So when you see us around town doing different projects like the Santa Arrival in Tinley, Discover Tinley, your Community Resources Commission will be doing that. And as a matter of fact, just to remind you also, the Community Resources Commission is the one that puts on this program. Our people are behind the camera, behind the editing positions, and we're proud to bring you these programs every month in Tinley Park. And also, we hope you enjoyed your holiday season. Hope the Christmas season was very good to you. And when you're getting ready for another year, a brand new year in Tinley Park. And always to begin the year out, we have with us our #1 citizen here, the Mayor of Tinley Park, Ed Zabrocki. Mayor Ed?
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate being here.
Thanks for coming. It's good to see the state of the village.
Okay. We've done this for probably 4 or 5 years now?
A couple times, and I'm sure the people need to hear that kind of stuff. First of all, when are the board meetings? When can people come to
The village board meetings are all public meetings, Ron. We meet the first, third, and fourth Tuesdays of every month, and the meetings begin at 8 a.m. and
8 p.m., right?
8 p.m., I'm sorry, 8 p.m.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all
8
right.
p.m. And on the second Tuesday of each month, we have what is called a Committee of the Whole, and that begins at 7:30 p.m., and that's also open to the public. In fact, all of our meetings are open to the public.
Yeah, and you should get a pretty good turnout for some of those meetings. And yeah, everybody should be aware that this is your opportunity to let the village board know what you think and how you feel about different projects in town here. So.
One of the things I might mention, Ron, with all of our ordinances and resolutions, well, I should say about 90% of them, we have a series of first and second readings, whereas we present the ordinance at one meeting and hope that the newspapers pick up on it, or people see it on the cable TV that it's an issue on the agenda, and then it'll show up at our next meeting, and that's where we pass it finally. And before I ask for a vote, I always ask for the resolution or the ordinance. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to address it? So it's very open public meetings.
Beautiful. Okay. First thing probably on people's minds, how's the financial health of the village? How are we doing?
Very good, Ron. We are a village that if we don't have the money, we don't spend it. And quite frankly, what we have done over the years, in the good years, we have put money away in various different funds, capital improvement funds, wage stabilization funds, things like this, road periphery funds, and so that we had these kind of funds available just in case the economy doesn't do too well, or there's a blip here or there, or something breaks and we need some money. It's there for us. So it's much like budgeting your own home. We have the little funds put away for rainy days.
Wow. So we're in good health. And
yes, very good health.
Probably better in some villages.
We are, according to Trustee Ray, who's a chairman of our finance committee, we're in the top 7% of the communities in the nation.
Holy
from a
cow.
bond rating. So that's pretty good.
That's not bad. All right, good for you. New things in Tinley Park. I know one thing was just recently dedicated, the new library. Do you want to talk a little bit about, we have something brand new in Tinley?
Well, we're very, very proud of the library. This is actually the 4th library that we've had in Tinley. The first one was on Oak Park Avenue, right near Holstein's. Second one was 171st Street, just to the east of the Zion Lutheran Church. The third one was one that most people are familiar with, and that was on 171st Street also, directly west of the Zion Lutheran Church. And this is our 4th one, which is approximately 55,000 square feet. Is a beautiful location, walking paths behind it. The top floor is dedicated to the children of our community. Computers, all the latest bells and whistles and those kinds of things, and we certainly hope people use it.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go in and see the place, it's just really fantastic, and probably one of the best libraries in the whole South Suburban area, I would expect by this
It's
time.
one of the best. There's approximately about 4 or 5 of them that have been built recently within the last 2 to 3 years, and ours is among the tops.
Wow. Good. Other new things coming on in Tinley? I know there's a brand new marketplace going on in the south end of town.
171st and Harlem Avenue. We're kind of excited about that. That's approximately 550,000 of commercial. 191st
okay.
and Harlem Avenue.
Okay.
Approximately 550,000 of commercial, square feet of commercial, and it's going to be anchored by a super Target. And the super Target people are very aggressive people. They want to be open in November of '05. So that's why you
Holy
see
cow.
all the trucks and everything
Wow.
going on out there right now. There'll be approximately, I'm going to say probably 10 to 15 other stores, and there's some infills and things like that going in. Bookstore, several restaurants, that kind of thing.
Wow.
Probably an electronics store. And so it'll be a very nice addition to that part of the village.
So within the year, we should be looking at this.
Target,
wow.
part of the Target contract is for opening in '05. And that's why we've been very aggressive with Will County in opening up 191st Street from a little bit west of Harlem Avenue out to 80th Avenue, making that all 4 lanes.
Okay, and then 191st is being extended also east a little bit, I
Right,
understand?
now you'll be able to go all the way to Cicero Avenue and beyond.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
again, it's another avenue opening up
Okay.
for traffic and trying to relieve some of the major streets like 183rd and Harlem and those kinds of streets.
What other roads are we can expect to go through, some new things going on?
Well, we're looking,
this year?
we finalized at least some of the concepts for 183rd between 80th Avenue and LaGrange Road. We're looking to let the contract sometime in late '05, winter of '05, and construction sometime in the spring of '06. And that'll be, hopefully, the way we're working it, we're trying to get it done in one construction season.
Oh, geez.
And that'll be a very nice 4 lanes with median strip, with decorative lights, landscaping, etc., that kind of thing.
Wow, okay, and that's going across the tracks. You got
Be
that
across
all,
the
that's
tracks,
all
yeah.
going.
We're in a final process now with Metra of the design of the crossing.
Wow,
So we're excited about that going in.
okay. Give us another real good east-west thoroughfare through Tinley that people don't have to go through subdivisions and...
Well, 171st Street is the second main one,
Right.
other than 159th.
Right.
I think you, like I and most people out there, avoid 159th Street like anything
Yes.
you can, especially during the holiday season.
Yeah, yeah.
But 171st Street does carry a lot of traffic.
Does
for
it?
us, yeah.
Okay. Any other new roads or things going through that we can...
There'll be some movement sometime within the next 2 years of extending 179th from 84th Avenue to 80th Avenue.
Okay.
That'll tie in, and that'll again take some of the pressure off the train station here,
Okay.
just a few feet from us. That's the last pieces that are going in.
Speaking of train stations, I guess what the 80th Avenue station is looking to...
Oh yeah, we're
to be-
very excited about that. Originally, we had hoped to start construction in '05. However, the federal government is slow in their funding process. We get the Metra gets the funds from the federal government, and then Metra filters it down to us. So that's why there's sometimes a delay. We could not get in the earlier budget. We're in the '05-06 budget, and so we'll be looking for construction of that station in the spring of '06. And Ron, it's really badly needed.
Oh, yes.
With the amount of people
Oh, yes.
out there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
some of those folks, it's roughly an 18-inch stretch from the bottom of the platform to the bottom step of the train. So it's badly needed, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be used very much so.
Decorative like the Oak Park Avenue station?
It's not going to be quite the same, not quite to the same degree.
Yeah.
But we are looking to do some upgrades in it,
Okay.
so that it can be, in a certain sense, multi-use, just like the Oak Park Avenue station is being used.
Wow.
And I think that could be a benefit to the entire community.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I think you said it's sorely needed. It's a huge traffic pattern going through there and all the time there. Some other things going on. We got some of our subdivisions in town here that are looking to being upgraded and things like that.
Yeah, we ran into a problem, Ron, in a couple of areas. One of them was in Brementown. A lot of those folks have been paying flood insurance for many, many years. And through Kevin McCarthy and through the state of Illinois and some of our own dollars, we're able to put together a grant, plus, as I said, some of our own dollars, and we did some reconfiguring of the 76th Avenue ditch down through the center.
Oh yeah.
And we took out some bridges, reconfigured some other things, and with that, we were able to take approximately 300 homes out of the floodplain, so that these homes no longer have to buy that flood insurance.
Wow.
So that can save a homeowner anywhere from $400 to about $1,200 a year.
A lot of money.
So it was very cost effective for us to do that. And we were able to do that. It took an a long, long amount of time to do it because we had to go through FEMA and there was different revisions, et cetera, that kind of thing. The second project we're working to is the Barrett subdivision. Some of our folks out there...
and whereabouts is that now?
Oh, yeah, it's Barrett's is the area located from south of the tracks to about 179th, and from roughly Oak Park Avenue, a couple blocks east of it, all the way west to Harlem Avenue. That's what we talk about. The Barrett subdivision was built in the 60s, and at original time, everything was fine. But then the folks, the federal folks, redefined the flood maps and put them back, or put them into a floodplain.
So they weren't originally,
no, but they put them into a floodplain, and now they had to buy flood insurance if they had a mortgage on their home. So it was a long process. First of all, what we did to all of those homes, we surveyed all of them and resurveyed each home to make sure that we know what their elevations are. And through that process, we took out about 200 and 225 homes just by the surveying of them. We then purchased 2 pieces of land in the right about 179th, 180th, and Sayre, in that area there behind Central School. And we have bought the land, and there'll be 2 retention ponds. In September of in December of 04, we let a contract for approximately $1.5 million, and they'll be doing that in the spring of 05 of building a pipe from roughly the Barrett subdivision and those 2 retention ponds through the area. It's going to snake through the area, through St. George School, and connect up with a major interceptor storm sewer at roughly Oak Forest Avenue and the railroad tracks, right by Lavery's restaurant over there. And then in 07, we'll be able to construct the ponds. And once we do that and get all those figures and all those kinds of things together, we then submit it to FEMA. And they have to say, okay, yes, we approve it, we bless it, and then these people will not have to buy the flood insurance. But it's a long process.
Yeah, it sounds like a
long and expensive process. It'll probably cost, there's no monies available from grants and things like this. This will cost the village probably upwards of $4 to $5 million.
Wow.
But over a period of time, it's cost effective for those people.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, people sometimes don't realize how much. You say, we got flooding, let's take care of it next week, and boy, you just
it doesn't quite happen that way, especially in Barrett's when the feds hit us out of the blue like that.
Wow, yeah.
In our oldest subdivision, Parkside, we're doing 2 things which are really kind of neat. We're going through the subdivision in that area, and we're putting sleeves into the sanitary sewers and into the storm sewers. And because that subdivision was built in the 50s, some of those sewers are collapsing or have cracks in them and things like this. And by putting a sleeve in there, a thin sleeve, we're able to maintain the sewers and get more years out of it without replacing it. The other thing, we started a program there is many of the people who are buying homes in there are doing some remodeling, some additions and things like this.
Yeah, the new program you've got.
So what we did is we hired a local architect, and we hired him to put about 8 or 9 different types of configurations on the bungalow-type homes that are in Parkside. And the cost per house is about $3,500. And the village is picking up about $2,500, $2,700 of that as our contribution to the resident in that particular subdivision, because they're upgrading their homes. So that the architectural plans that they would need and the blueprints they would need for the addition, costing about $3,500, would only cost a homeowner about $800. So, and it's our investment into that community. And if that works well for us, we're going to look at other parts of the community, probably Bremen Town and maybe some of the parts in the older part of town, to see if something like that could be done there also.
And the reason being to keep people staying in town and upgrading the quality of housing in town.
Keep people staying in town, upgrading the quality of houses and things like this. If you have a chance, take a ride through Parkside and you'll see some of those homes. It's amazing what they have done with them. You see a before picture and an after picture, and it's totally 2 different homes.
Wow.
There's one in there that I really like that it was just a 2-story Cape Cod, and you look at it and it looks like a Victorian home now with a turret on the front of it, with a kind of pointed roof on a corner. And really nicely done, and it upgrades the entire community, something like that.
It's probably cheaper than somebody going out and buying a brand new home nowadays.
You could double the size of your home out there, or even do better than that, for much less than what you could do by buying a new home.
See that? Wow. Beautiful. Well, that's another reason why Tinley Park is really going really whole hog and keeping people here and making people happy and making the town a lot nicer place in which to live. So, take advantage of those things. How would they get this? Just go to the Village Hall and
go to the Village Hall and contact Dave Samuelson or Craig Iyer in the building department. They'll be more than happy to sit down with you, show you the 8 different plans that are available. Make the architect available to you, and start the program. Wow. We have about, I'm going to say 8 or 9 people already who are interested in it.
See.
And we've just started the program in the last month.
Wow. So another thing going on. How about municipal buildings? Are anything going on with some of our municipal buildings?
Well, we're kind of going through a needs assessment here a little bit, Ron. We opened up a 25,000 square foot police department probably about 8 or 9 years ago, and we're finding that we're maxing out.
Oh, geez.
So we may have to put an addition onto the police department.
Wow.
But probably one of our most pressing needs right now is Public Works. That building was originally built in the early 80s, and it is really kind of maxed out, and it's been maxed out for a while. And with the town growing the way it's growing, we need more space for our Public Works people to work on their cars, work on the trucks, etc., that kind of thing, work on our police cars, etc., that kind of thing, and also to store our equipment. It's it's much better to be able to store your trucks and things like this for snow plowing inside than outside. They start better and all those other kind of things.
Yeah. Wow. So we're looking forward to some expansions.
Well, we're looking at those kinds of things.
Tinley is growing.
They'll probably start appearing in next year's budget, at least some of them.
Wow.
But those are the 2 major ones, and we also keep a pretty close contact with the folks at the Village Hall to see if how that is working. If you remember, when the Village Hall was built, it was built with the concept of the center building and then 2 pods, one on each side. Well, we built the 1 pod to the north for the building department, and we're kind of keeping an eye on things to see if we need that 2nd pod on the south side, but that's out in the future.
Okay, good. We got quite a few things going here. What's happening over on LaGrange Road? Now, Tinley's expanding way far west over
Well,
there.
what's interesting,
there's a lot of construction going on over there.
A lot going on out there. Well, as we opened up the Texas Roadhouse, which is doing very well. There's 3 other restaurants in the area that we have contacted us, some national chain type restaurants that are interested in developing at 183rd and Harlem Avenue. One hotel should be open sometime late spring, early summer. The second one,
the Hilton?
The Hilton, right, the Hilton Gardens. The second one is on the drawing boards.
Can we reveal any names of any of these?
On the second one, I don't know what it'll be.
Okay.
But it's being developed by the same gentleman who owns the Holiday Inn here at the Convention Center. So he's putting all that together for us. Then there remains approximately 50 to 55 acres of unused land, which is creating a great deal of interest. And hopefully by next year at this time, we'll be able to make some neat announcements between now and then.
Oh, yeah?
But we'll kind of have to wait and see how things develop.
We can't say anything right now.
People are interested in, until they sign on a dotted line and the check is not only delivered, but it cashes. We kind of wait till then.
Okay, good. Well, there's a lot of things going on, both sides of town.
Both sides of town, and I think one of the things, too, that is of interest is the mental health grounds.
Okay.
At 183rd and Harlem. Originally, that piece of property was about 450 acres, and through the years, we've through a in-kind kind of contributions with the state by providing water, police, and fire protection. They've turned different pieces of that property over to us for the library, for the parking lot on the south side of the tracks, for our police station, for the fire training tower. The folks also have turned some land over to the Howe Developmental Center to include that, and also to the Pekeezer group that have that little facility right at 183rd and 76th Avenue. That leaves about 220 acres of land that is left, and obviously the village of Tinley Park is interested in that. And in the same breath, we're also very concerned about the folks that are served at the mental health hospital. So we look at it as 3 things happening out there, one of 3 things happening out there. The actual buildings themselves that serve the mental health folks that are out there are sitting on probably 5 to 10 acres of the 220 acres. So there's 3 different options. One option is to leave the facilities right where they're at. Now, the downside of that is those buildings are all 50 years old, and they all need major renovation. So the option one would be to leave the buildings there and develop the other 210 acres. Second option would be to take those facilities and rebuild them at another location on those grounds. Since the land would be free, would free up that corner, which is the most valuable corner for commercial development. The folks still would be on the grounds, but they'd be at another location. And again, we would still be looking to develop 210 acres or so. The third option would be is to see if there are other facilities available within the reasonable amount of time from this to serve that particular segment of the regional population. And if that's feasible, fine, then we would develop all 220 acres. But we're open to any one of those 3, which is fine with us.
What does it kind of hinge on? What the governor's going to do?
Yeah, what the governor's going to do. Okay. Our understanding is that the entire program has been funded until July of '05. And we're not sure what's going to happen after that. But I also might point out that the House Center is not part of this in any way. The House Center is there now and will continue to stay there. That is not part of the approximately 220 acres.
That's interesting. Yeah, I kind of thought it was the whole caboodle type of thing. Okay.
The House Center has done very well for itself, but it's got some great programs in there, and the facilities are up to date, and so there would be no reason, it wouldn't make sense to move those folks around.
Wow. Well, it's another good thing coming to Tinley Park, the expansion and things like that. We've got some other things going on in town here. You said decorative lighting is going to be added. I read in the paper something decorative lighting is going to be added in some places in town here.
One of the things we did, Ron, is we hired a company to look at all of our intersections, okay, our major intersections, and to come up with a landscaping plan for our major intersections that kind of distinguish the area. You've seen some of that along Harlem Avenue with some of the landscaping, and we've got more of it to do, quite frankly, with you. Along Harlem Avenue, some of the things didn't turn out exactly the way they're supposed to, so here in the spring of '04, we're going to be taking a look at those to see what else we can do with them. 171st and 80th Avenue, those decorative lights were put in, and there's a certain amount of chagrin with those lights because they've been in for about 7 months and they're still not lit. And part of the problem is that right at 171st and 80th Avenue, I think it's the northwest corner, everything seems to come together. Sewers, pipelines, water lines,
gas lines,
fiber optic lines, telephone lines, they all seem to come together. And it's been a kind of a challenge to get all those folks together to see exactly where we could put those lines. But hopefully by the time this program airs, those lights will be on.
Wow.
And we're looking at other intersections around town to do that. One of the ones that we may be doing next is the one right by the Fulton House. And that
which is where? I mean, people,
which is, the Fulton House is right across from Citibank on Oak Park Avenue.
Okay.
And what's going to be the centerpiece of that, and then and we're going to have these located at about 4 or 5 different locations in town, in all parts of the town, and that is kind of a electronic reader board with what's going on in town. So, for example, when your commission here did the Christmas last month, people throughout the town would be able to see what time it starts, what time Santa came, what time the tree lighting would be, etc., that kind of thing. And that'll be kind of the cornerstone of several of these different locations. And that's an ongoing project that'll probably take the next 3 to 4 years to put it all together. But again, it's we're trying to do 1 or 2 of those a year, and it'll develop that way, but it'll do well.
Wow. Wow, so we're really upgrading the aesthetic looks of Tinley Park, too.
That's part of what we want to do, because again, part of our feeling is that if you let any part of the town deteriorate, that deterioration is going to spread, okay? Right. And that's what we want to do. Now, there's some individual homes that make it a little more difficult, because then you're dealing with some folks who maybe don't have the wherewithal, etc. But again, we've got some plans for and some volunteers from some of the local churches who are willing to work with some of those people. But a general upgrading of the aesthetics around town, landscaping, etc., improves everyone's property values.
Right.
and that's a plus for everybody.
We've got a couple more minutes left here. I'd like you to again re-emphasize the tremendous volunteer spirit we have in Tinley Park and how much the village board relies on a lot of these volunteer commissions that you use.
I think, Ron, that's one of the distinguishing factors of our community, is that volunteer spirit. And let me say up front, I'm not sure how much time we have left, but let me say up front, if somebody is interested in being a volunteer in our community and one of our commissions, please contact my secretary, Judy Bruning, at 708-444-5021, 708-444-5021. We have approximately 15 different commissions. I'm not sure I can name them all. I'm not going to try.
Yeah.
But there's your commission, the Veterans Commission, Long Range Planning, Zoning Board, Environmental Commission, Police Pension Board, Civil Service Board. There's approximately 15 long-range planning, economic development. Right. There's approximately 15 commissions. Each commission will range anywhere from 3 to about 15 people. And these commissions are made up of ordinary people, folks that go to their job during the day and come home, play with the kids, and spend maybe 1 or 2 nights a month volunteering for the village. And the various different commissions make recommendations to the village board about how things, on different issues. For example, with your commission right here, several years ago, you folks came to us to put this whole kind of program together in the studio, etc., that kind of thing. We looked at it and said we thought it was a great idea. It took us a couple of years to get all of the pieces together and the funding together for it, but it's turned out very, very well for us. You folks take care of taking various different videos of our different activities around town, and it's done well. So again, if folks are interested, please get involved. We're very, very proud of those 150, 160 people of our volunteers. It really makes a difference in our town.
Wow. Yeah, I've been involved for so many years too, and it's been a tremendous experience getting involved with town. And it gives everybody a chance to have a say-so on what goes on in Tinley Park. It's not like a few people up in that boardroom making all the decisions. We've got some excellent things. So thanks for coming to Discover Tinley again.
My pleasure.
For our yearly message to the residents of Tinley Park.
I got more to say, but I got
no. Well, we're running out of time. Yeah.
Excuse me, Ron.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for watching Discover Tinley again for this month and listening to our fabulous mayor who is talking about things going on in town here. Get involved, look around and see what's happening in town. Thanks again to the people in the Community Resources Commission that produce, direct, and provide the facilities for this program. And we look forward to seeing you again and hopefully helping you discover Tinley. Thanks again.